it's often also been a time of anxiety, a time of obligations, a time of stress and running around and satisfying the demands of our friends, our family. And it doesn't have to be that way. I'll speak from my experience that sometimes it's just felt overwhelming. And I wonder if any of you resonate with that. But here in my conversation with Kevin, we discuss how a perspective shift and a different approach to the holidays can really bring about some magic and some deeper connections with family, friends, the people we care about. Check it out.
Should I buy gifts for? And so I actually see a lot of anxiety around this time. And so how do we think about this? How do we approach this?
Well, and there's more than just the gifts, and doing things because we should, because that's what they expect. And is it expensive enough? Then there's are you going to spend time with me? And how many parties do you go to? And, I think that this is really an awesome topic, because this could be a month in which we could really generate inspiration in others. We could really be there for others by coming from our wholeness and understanding what it is that we're creating in our life. Am I creating that out of obligation? I'm going to give you a gift so that you'll be happy, and you won't be happy if you've already chosen that you don't want to be happy in the first place, no matter how much I spend, right? So, and we spend so much time trying to give something to meet other people's expectations, but then we're not coming from our true self or our true expression. And I think that the holidays are an incredible opportunity for us to say, let's see, I'd like to give this person a gift, and this is the way that I would like to do it. Or I'd like to spend time with this relative, and I'm doing this with all my heart, and it may not be enough for my mom or my sister or my brother, but this is the way I'm doing it, and I'm all in from it.
Mm. Yeah, it's approaching the holidays with openness to what it could look like versus what it should look like. It's like approaching the holidays with, okay, I'm expected to do this, and this is how I need to spend Christmas, and this is who I need to buy gifts for. This is who I'm receiving gifts for, people who have expectations of others versus what if, what does it look like when we approach it with openness? When
Right.
we approach it from our authentic self of, this is what I'm feeling this holiday. I want to connect with this person and this person, and this is how much I can afford right now. And really, when we step into that, I think there's so much power in the energy we bring into other people's lives versus when we come from obligation.
Right.
It just, reminds me of when I gifted my wife something out of excitement and curiosity around, oh, I think this will really excite her versus, oh yeah, it's Valentine's Day. I'm obliged to give her something. There's a very big difference.
Yeah. I mean, there's so right now the commercialism is just, it's amazing. There's just so much in your face of all the things that you don't have and all the things that you absolutely need and what you're missing, and we don't even know how to respond because it's just so inundating.
Mhm.
It's just so big. But I think that there's a few things that we need to look at as we're coming so much from how do we look compared to others, and what are other people doing, and all these decisions and agreements and beliefs, and we're coming from there. And when we come from there, it cuts us off from, you said the word could. I think it could even be more powerful than could. I think it's almost like, what am I creating right now?
Mm.
What am I creating right now in my participation in this? One of the things that I think are important, Ashok, is that we need to understand certain core values within ourselves. Like for
Mhm.
example, I do the best I can to constantly come from generation of freedom, abundance, and wellness. And these are my core values. And when I make choices to participate in things, I oftentimes ask myself, am I coming from one of these core values?
Mm.
And when I understand who I am and what I'm creating, it somehow dispels some of the distractions around me, And by dispelling some of those distractions, I can actually come authentically to the conversation of what feels right and my gut feeling on it without being so preoccupied with, oh no, I might not meet their expectations. But you know what? We
Right.
don't even know what we really want anyway. So instead of focusing on what I think I want, let me just see where I'm coming from in my core values and come from there and see what unfolds.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. The distractions can really take over if we have no understanding of our own values. Um, I love what you said about, it's like my values is in abundance, and I think you said freedom. And um, if you're seeing that that is being compromised because of some uh, holiday ritual,
Right.
and I can't think of a specific one, but you can notice that and say no. Like, oh, this ritual for me at this time in my life doesn't make sense. It is
Right.
compromising this value of mine, and I'm going to say no. And that can feel very easy versus someone who may not have that connection with themselves and decide, oh, I've got to say yes to this because this is an obligation. And
Right.
you do that time and time again, and your life becomes obligation after obligation versus creating, inspiring, uplifting others when you really understand and connect with your core values and come from
And
there.
I think it also offers, because sometimes I think when we have this conversation, it may kind of make us feel that we're just talking about ourselves and what's right for us. But I think that if we really look at this authentically, it's coming really bringing us into a space. It's bringing us into a space for whoever that we're connecting to, for them to win also, for them to
Absolutely.
get, because if a lot of people, they don't even know why they want what they want. I brought this up earlier in this conversation. It's like they don't know. It's like, okay, so you give them I don't know, I mean, what, you give them a necklace, let's say, right? And they don't like the necklace, and you ask them, well, why don't you like the necklace? Well, because my girlfriend got a bigger necklace. you know you
Right.
know right? And we've got all this comparisons because we're just sitting in the way that things should be through the decisions that we've made. And what's really so powerful is if we can just be with the person and give the person really understanding, we're giving them our time, or we're giving them our compassion, or we're giving them a present, whatever it is that we offer in generosity during this beautiful season of the holidays, that we're coming from an expression that isn't I should, but it's because that we're really committed to that relationship that we're building. And if from their eyes, they're looking at it as having something that's missing, if we can stay present enough and allow them to have their feelings and not change their feelings, but to stay present enough that we know where we're coming from in our core values, I think it could be transformation for anybody that we're in contact with.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the example that comes to mind is actually, I spoke to you earlier about this, is yesterday was my anniversary with my wife. And, I hadn't planned anything. She hadn't planned anything, but we were just both in, uh, a space of presence with each other. And what that means is like we were both just open. We were both just open to whatever this day looks like, however it unfolds. But I think both of us were coming from, we love each other and we want to spend time with each other. And what unfolded was just this beautiful day of experiences, walking around the city, seeing some Christmas lights, and it felt like neither of us were in expectation.
Right.
And um, and I think even if one of us was in expectation, the energy of even one of us being in openness to what could be. I even think about if one of my family members was expecting a certain gift from me, but didn't get that, but felt my connection with them
Yeah.
through some other means. I might reach out to them and ask them about a specific thing that's on their mind. Like, hey, how's the business going? Or hey, how are your kids doing? I know you had that challenge about,
Yeah.
I mean, that is really connecting with someone, and it's setting aside the obligations. It's
Right.
setting aside this is what the holidays look like.
Right.
And people feel that. People
Yeah.
feel that.
Right. And I think that would be an incredible call to action this month at the time of the holidays. Is to first of
Mhm.
all have fun, for heaven's sakes, and enjoy doing what you're doing when you're doing it. And when people have different thoughts, rather than trying to fix their thinking or to respond to their thinking in a way that's not working for your core values, just look at your core values, and the action would be see any thinking, see any thoughts that you have that come up saying this isn't enough, I should do more, I'm hurting their feelings, and let them ride. Don't put any meaning into them. Just see them and say, it's okay. I know where I'm coming from is the energy where I can make the greatest impact, and watch the results this season.
Yeah, I love that. This is a great opportunity during these holidays to really listen, listen to your friends, your family, and provide that space of listening, because they're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel heard,
Yeah.
and you can do it in the smallest way, in the smallest interactions, and just notice the difference you feel
Yeah.
and they feel. Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be really
Yeah.
powerful.